So it's a very short distance between scenes. So it's just a little while later. Now we're at the meal. The view through the big windows is fading gradually. I think this idea of fading, decay, is constantly recurring. Into a still golden dusk, a touch of sunlight blazes on the side of a big water tank or oil drum across the empty lot towards a business district, which is now pierced by pinpoints of lighted windows, or windows reflected in sunlight. I mean, he's a painter. And he's so specific in the way he's setting up his scene, what he wants from the light and the feeling, and what he wants from the director, and what he wants for the audience to feel. You could analyze that in terms of poetry, let alone as a set of instructions for a set designer or lighting designer. It's a dismal birthday party. It's miserable. It's sad. Stella's embarrassed and sad. Even Stanley looks a bit sullen. She has a tight, artificial smile on her drawn face. There is a fourth place at the table which is vacant. So that is Mitch's. Tell us a joke. Tell us a funny story. Make us all laugh. We're also solemn. We're also sad. Just because I've been stood up on that boat. I mean, she has that funny way of bringing attention to the thing that, nobody wants to address. It's the first time in my entire experience with men. And I've had a good deal of all sorts. She hints at things, doesn't she? It's the first time I've been stood up. I thought you didn't like my stories. I like them when they're amusing, but not indecent. Indecent, sexual. If they're not that, they're okay. And tell me one. Yeah. Oh, then Blanche volunteers to tell one. Now remember, in this play, there are jokes all over the place. These dirty jokes that have started the play and punctuated the play. Hers isn't going to be that funny. It's a parrot story. Do you like parrot? This is the one about the old maid and the parrot. She had a parrot who cursed a blue streak and knew more vulgar expressions than Mr. Kowalski. Huh? Kind of. A little dig, not much of a dig, but a little one there. And the only way to hush the parrot was to put the cover back on its cage so it'd think it was night and go back to sleep. Well, one morning, the old maid had just uncovered the parrot for the day. But who should she see coming up? But it's the preacher. And she basically covers it again. And when he's over, the parrot goes, "God damn, that was a short day." So because the cover was off for so short, because the preacher was over and she didn't want to have a swearing parrot there. And then he just sweared. It's not funny, and nobody laughs, and Stella makes an effectual effort. She pretends. Effort is a good word to think about Stella and what she does. And Stanley doesn't even pretend to be amused. And she says, was not amused. Stella takes a shot at him. He's too busy making a pig of himself. That's right, baby. Your face and your fingers are disgustingly greasy. Go and wash up and then help me clear the table. In a domestic household, here we have a moment where clean yourself up, make yourself presentable. I think Stella's harking back to traditions, or at least basic manners in Belle Reve, and some sense of that modernist, modern contemporary notion that men could help a little bit in the house. And she just asks for some help, and watch what happens. He hurls a plate. That's how I clear the table. Seizes her arm. Violence again. Don't ever talk that way to me. Pig, Polak, disgusting, vulgar, greasy. Them kind of words have been on your tongue and your sister's too much around here. Who do you two think you are, a pair of queens? Remember what Huey Long said, every man is a king. And I am the king around here, so don't forget it. The man, the king. But isn't he also insecure? He hates this language. He's using violence to reassert power. he's done this elaborate plan on Blanche to reassert power. I think in Stanley Kowalski, what we see is the need to use violence in language, in words, to reassert. It comes from insecurity. Because certainly when you aren't insecure, you have no need to do these things. But look carefully. He doesn't like to be called these things. He wants to fight back. Stella begins to cry weakly. Stanley stalks out on the porch and lights a cigarette. The Negro entertainers around the corner are heard. What happened while I was bathing? She wants to know the truth. Or does she? That's what I mean by the Greek. There's a kind of the ancient Greek drama where there's this horrible truth. Oedipus Rex being, Sophocles' great play. This classic truth hovering around the hero. They want to know, but do they actually? Because when they find out, it's just horrific. Nothing, said King Lear. I thought he told you something about Mitch and me. You know why Mitch didn't come, but you won't tell me. Shakes her head helplessly. She has no power. She can't do anything. Don't call him. I'm gonna call him on the phone. Don't call him, Blanche. I am to get some explanation. She rushes to the phone. Stella goes to the porch and stares reproachfully at her husband. He grunts. Turns away. I hope you're pleased with your doings. I never had much trouble swallowing food in my life. Look at that girl's face in that empty chair. He doesn't care. He just doesn't care. Stanley could give him. Mr. Mitchell leaves a message. Nothing. Here, Stanley turns. I think this is important, the turns. And he turns slowly back towards his wife and takes her clumsily in his arms. Stella, it's going to be all right after she goes, after you've had the baby. We're going to be all right again between you and me and the way it was. You remember the way it was? Them nights we had together. God, honey, it's going to be sweet when we can make noise in the night the way we used to and get the colored lights going with nobody's sister behind the curtain to hear us. There's a need, a yearning, passion. A passion prevented, perhaps, by pregnancy and the baby. A yearning for the past. He has this strange metaphor about colored lights. Their passion grafted onto this weird metaphor, or, this motif in the play about lights. And here I have to say, having read the play, a number of years now, I think here we're starting to see simultaneously the passion and love of Stanley Kowalski for his wife. So he's not just an animal. He's not just a beast or a villain or something worse. And he loves Stella. But there's also, so clearly there's a love and passion expressed here. But there's also something lost. They're pulling apart. And how do I know that? He's calling for a past that, and when characters are in life, when you call for the past, it's no longer there. And if it wasn't Blanche, maybe it would be this baby that's the problem, preventing something. But this sexual passion they have seems unique. It is unique, and he's calling back for it. Upstairs neighbors are heard bellowing laughter. Stanley chuckles. Stephen Eunice. This is the connection again. We're not them. We're not Stephen Eunice. They're the counterpoint to them. Come on back in. Acceptance. She wants this, not Blanche. But the tension. Blanche? Yes? She brings out the candles. Oh, those pretty, pretty little candles. Oh, don't burn them, Stella. I certainly will. It's your birthday. Here's some poetry. You ought to save them for babies' birthdays. Oh, I hope candles are going to glow in his life, and hope that his eyes are going to be like candles, like two blue candles lighting a white cake. What poetry? That's mockery. His auntie knows candles aren't safe. Candles burn out in little boys' and girls' eyes, or wind blows them out. And after that happens, candles past versus electric bulbs. Go on and you see plainly. You see plainly. So there's the romance of candles versus the exposure of an electric light. I shouldn't have called him. Oh, look, there's a lot of things that can happen. There's no excuse, and I won't be taken for granted. Stanley, it's hot in here. Steam from the bathroom. I've said sorry 3 times. I take hot baths for my nerves. Hydrotherapy, they call it. You healthy Polak. Without a nerve in your body, of course you don't know what anxiety feels like. So, Blanche is full of nerves, he's body. I am not a Polak. People from Poland are Poles, not Polacks. But what I am is 100% American, born and raised in the greatest country on earth, and proud as hell of it. Nationalism, racism, classism, identity, all of it just compiling, fighting. Look, the phone rings. Blanche gets up. No, it's not for you, okay? And there's this thing I read in this essay. Stella's there trying to comfort Blanche. Get your hands off me, Stella. What's up with you? People are always touching. There's always this physicality with Blanche. People have their hands on her. Mitch picks her up. Stanley with the zipper, and later, just this physicality with Blanche, or proximity, is interesting. So Stanley gets a call, and they want to have a bowling game, and he says, look, no, I had a little trouble with Riley last week. Again, he had another fight. There are glimpses, signs that Stanley's star is falling. There are chinks in that armor. He hangs up and returns to the table. Blanche fiercely controls herself, drinking quietly from the tumbler of water. He doesn't look at her, but reaches in a pocket. False amiability. Here's the knife. He has to get rid of the threat. I got a little birthday remembrance for you. Oh, have you, Stanley? I wasn't expecting... I don't know why Stella wants to observe my birthday. I'd much rather regret it. When you reach 27, joke, lie, it's all the same now, isn't it? 27? What is it? Is it for me? I hope you like it. What? Why, it's a ticket back to Laurel on the Greyhound Tuesday. There's the knife he's sticking in. This is Varsuviana music steals in softly and continues playing. Stella rises abruptly and turns her back. Blanche tries to smile, tries to laugh. She gives up both and springs from the table. She clutches her throat, runs into the bathroom, coughing, gagging. So here comes the inside anxiety coming out. Well, you didn't need to do that. Don't forget all that I took off of her. That sweetness is gone. We're back in the violence. You needn't have been so cruel to someone alone as she is. Sarcasm. Delicate piece she is. She was. You don't know Blanche as a girl. Nobody was tender and trusting as she was. But people like you abused her and forced her to change. Now, again, I've been reading this play for a long time, and there's something strange here. What is Stella talking about? Is she talking about Alan? is she making reference to all this gossip and these rumors of the people who've abused her? As in Laurel, or the men, or the lies, or that word abuse sticks out. Did something happen to Blanche? Is this wound something more profound, deep, and hidden? I don't know, but its suggestion is disturbing, and it's one of many things I think Williams keeps trying to disturb me about. He crosses to the bedroom, ripping off his shirt, changes into a brilliant, as in bright, silk bowling shirt. You think you're going bowling now? Yeah, sure. You're not going bowling. Why'd you do this to her? Why did you do this to her? Who is she speaking to? That's what I'm saying. What I mean by that is, of course, she's speaking to Stanley. But is it Alan? Is it someone else in the family? Is it something with these epic fornications? Look, and it doesn't have to be in order for the suggestion to create an interpretation to point to something deeper. I've done nothing to no one. Let go. Tell me why. Why? Yeah, why is important. Why do we hurt each other? He tries. When we first met, me and you thought I was common. How right you was. Common as dirt. You showed me the snapshot of the place with the columns. Now that's interesting. Stella shows everyone where she's from. Impoverished people. Eunice, Stanley, look where I'm from. This place, this magical Bell Reeve. Even Stella has this weird identity. I pulled you down off them columns and how you loved it. And that's important. Put you in your place. Dominated. Offered something else. That's a key line. Having them colored lights going. There's that code, I guess, for the sex life. Wasn't we happy together? Wasn't it all okay till she showed here? They were happy. And he hates her. He attests their unhappiness to Blanche. She's the scapegoat. Stella makes a slight movement. Her look goes suddenly inward. As if some interior voice had called her name. She begins a slow, shuffling progress from the bedroom to the kitchen, leaning and resting on the back of the chair and then on the edge of a table with a blind look and listening expression. Finishing with his shirt, is unaware of her reaction. And wasn't we happy together? Wasn't it all okay till she showed up here, all hoity-toity? I love his language sometimes. Describing me as an ape. So it really cut him. He really resents her. Does he fear her? Does he desire her? I don't know if he desires her, but he does hate her. What is it? What's wrong? Her water's broke. So, he is with her now, supporting her, murmuring indistinguishably as they go outside. The Vesuvian is heard. The music in Blanche comes out. With its music rising with sinister rapidity. It's going to get bad. She's twisting a washcloth. Really nervous action. And she just keeps repeating the stuff. Now, I thought it was something important, but all she's saying is cornbread without salt. Cornbread in Spanish. Madness is coming for her. Definitely.